This is Owen McKendry for ESBR Boxing. Delighted to be joined by victorious Brad Goldmsmith. Brad, back on the big stage, back in the win column. How good did that feel?
Back to winning ways, mate. Fantastic, to be honest. Like you say, couple of hurdles to overcome from the last one in April. Obviously, I had a little bit of a run out in July, but that was more just to stay active on the card kind of thing and whatever else. But yeah, I'm buzzing, mate. I'm still processing it, to be honest.
More than one hurdle to come over. 3 changes of opponent. Jordan Dujon he's an awkward opponent. He's not a journeyman. He's better than a journeyman. But it's difficult to sort of tell what level he's at. So, in your mind, obviously you were meant to be fighting an unbeaten kid, come with a decent reputation, changed again, then Jordan Dujon. What was going through your mind going into it? Because obviously 3 very different styles of opponents.
One word's like one word I use is a roller coaster, mate. Like you say, it's not just the opponents. You've had the date change, the actual delay in even announcing the show. Like, I first thought this was going to be in September, so then it got pushed back to October. Then obviously October to November. Then after the postponement, one replacement, then another replacement. So, like you say, luckily I've got an experienced team behind me that knows how to keep me calm and collected in these situations. Respect. Keep me calm and collected in these situations, and like you say, it probably wasn't my best performance, but I'm very, very happy with how it went, what I accomplished, and I'd proved to people I've got a gas tank. I feel like I could have done another 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds in there tonight. So I boxed clever, kind of shown what I was about a little bit, but most importantly, I'm back on track, back in the winning column, and onto bigger and better things. Set myself up for a massive 2026.
I think it was clear to see for anyone watching tonight. Obviously, I was in the crowd when you obviously fought Troy Coleman, cruising 5-0 up, emptied the gas tank in the 6th. Even from the stands, it looked like you could have got him out of there. One thing that I noticed tonight, and one thing that you said to obviously trainer Domingo, the old me, when you cut him, when you hurt him, would have jumped all over him. Is that one thing that you have been working on in the gym? Is, I don't want to say go gung ho, because that takes away the credit of your ability, but if you'd have, the old you, as you said, when you'd have hurt him, you'd have jumped all over him. So is that something you've been working on?
Yeah, well, not necessarily working on, but just first of all, listening to instructions better. I think I listened to Don word for word today. Maybe a couple of times I didn't keep mowing that one I should have. But like you say, practicing things in sparring. Even if I've hurt a kid in sparring, pressing them with my feet rather than my hands, punching when I need to punch, not just punching for the sake of it. And like you say, all these kind of things, boxing's a job where you do learn on the job. So yeah, lots of boxes ticked tonight. Answered a few questions within myself as well, probably to a lot of people, outside watching. So yeah, I'm buzzing, mate. Honestly, I'm buzzing.
How did you deal with it? Because obviously, in Coventry, although it is a big city, everyone knows everyone. We've all got mutual friends of people who know people. You're fighting here tonight. Aaron Bowen's, obviously you sold a good few hundred tickets. Aaron Bowen sold sort of 600-700 tickets for Birmingham. Does it make it easier to deal with because of that? Because there's so many people around you, so many people that want to see you succeed, for yourself, for your friends, your family, the city. Did that help with a loss that you should have won? Your hands should have got raised on the night. Obviously, you know what went wrong, but does that help you in getting over it? Because obviously, when you lose like that, sometimes it can put you into a dark place.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm not sure what time it is. I'm not sure if he's boxed yet, but Coventry could have a new champion tonight. So hope my boy does it, and the new Midlands area champion incoming. But in answer to your question, fortunately, I've said this even before my loss. I've got some of the best people around me, and that's not just my team, but that's just the people who come and watch me box. Let's not mess around. Boxing's a game where you have to come up, especially on the small hall. You're boxing journeyman. You're not in exciting fights. People are paying, watching, knowing you're going to win or knock someone out. It's not really entertainment early days, but as I say, I'm very fortunate to be able to shift a lot of tickets, and even after my loss, like you say, like you've seen tonight, like I've still sold a good amount of tickets an hour away from home when there's also another event on. So I'm just fortunate, and as well that we come from a city that really get behind the people, especially with City flying in the league as well at the minute. We won't talk about that because it's boxing, but it's Coventry is a city where they really do get behind their people, and tonight just shows that, whether it's Derby, NEC in Birmingham up at the CBS Arena. So it's honestly a real privilege, you know.
One thing I do have to ask you, I asked Eddie Hearn, I was at the weigh-in for back when it was Sonny Edwards and Galawi Afai, and I asked Eddie, when are you coming to Coventry? I've loved boxing all my life, 27 now, we've never really seen big time boxing in our era in Coventry. It's now upon us. You shift a lot of tickets, you're in good fights, Aaron shifts a stupid amount of tickets. I think we should see you on that card.
I think me and him would sell it out, to be honest with you, you know, and then whoever he wants to put on it can put on it. So, you know, especially if he picks up the title tonight, you know, that puts him in line for a big fight. I've just come back from a good win tonight. That puts me in line for either like an eliminator of some sort, or again another good fight against a, you know, a good opposition. So, I think they'd be stupid not to go there, from not only for like a business sense, but again, you know, the fights that, you know, you'd be able to make. It's not just Coventry, it's obviously Midlands. You've got loads of fights like that you could make and put on there. So, but yeah, I mean, look, we'll see. You know, I'm just excited to push on next year now.
And that's my final question is, obviously you've got one of the most experienced trainers in the country, in the world, definitely, but especially in this country, there aren't many more experienced, obviously, than Ingle Jim. Troy Coleman fought for the English title after he fought yourself. Is that still the route you're looking? Has the route changed? Has the plan changed? Or is it still, that was just one bump in the road, we're still going the same route, same way?
Yeah, like you say, bump in the road, and you know, you just talking about that fight there against, you know, Troy versus Jimmy. That was kind of like a bit of a kick in the nuts to me, because in the back of my mind, that's where I would have been, you know, back in October. But who would have said that what happened with me and Troy would have happened with me and Jimmy, and that's a bigger, you know, and that would have been a fight that would have essentially affected my career more. So, yeah, I mean, look, English, Commonwealth, British, you know, that's what I'm eyeing up, and like you say, mate, just get myself back in the mix. There's a couple of good fights, middleweight fights in January. You know, I'm not sure if they'll be available for titles or eliminators of some sort, but I'll be back out in the first quarter of next year. I've been in the gym a long time, you know, since August, so I'm going to still tick over. You know, I'm dedicated. I'm always in the gym, but I'm going to enjoy a bit of quality time with friends, family, and yeah, just see what next year brings.
Brad, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations, my friend.
All the best.